Hey, collective. It's Mount Carmel, your energy shifter. Grand Rise, Grand Rise, Grand Rise, Grand Ascencio, Grand Subida. And Grand Ascencio and Grand Subida just means Grand Rise in Spanish. For anyone who's wondered, what did she be saying? What is that? It just means Grand Rise in Spanish. I just like the way it sounds. And so I say it. But no, I wanted to jump on really quickly. I have a message for everyone out there. Today is Thursday. It's Jupiter Day, y'all. It's Jupiter's Day. Really quickly, hold on. We're gonna talk about Jupiter. Here we go. Oh, why just well, we know it's a social planet. It's one of the two social planets. You have Saturn, you have Jupiter. To me, Jupiter is more of like it reminds me of the tarot deck. You know, you have your minor and your major. Jupiter's more like the minor, Saturn's more like the major. So Jupiter's more like the everyday ins and outs, more of the here and now. It's, it's gonna come now or very soon. Jupiter is coming, Saturn's more like it's gonna come in the future. Nevertheless, it rules idealism, optimism, expansion. It's also about the philosophical, that word. Anyways, but it's about reflection and introspection. So it reminds me of the hangman. It reminds me of the hermit, Jupiter energy. Um, right now we're going through a big transformation in the universe where before we go into 2023, we want to be very mindful of how we move, what we say, what we do, and just reacting to not only ourselves, right? Because we got a whole tree within us. We've already done episodes and series on that. So if you're not aware of that, I honestly, if you're just not hopping onto my channel, the best way to be successful over here in this tribe, you got to go all the way back. So I suggest going all the way back to the very first video, catching yourself up, and then start to get into the new videos because it will make sense. But nevertheless, we've already gone over the inner tree, the breakdown of what those are, the definitions, and also really itemizing in breaking down each of those definitions and the depthness of it, what it means, why it's important, and why we need to know them, first of all, because the world's not teaching us this, right? Nevertheless, reflection, observing, it's going to be a very, very, very important thing going into 2023 because we're coming out of a paradigm where we have had the blessing and the opportunity to really, on this awakening ascension journey, to really just blossom. We've made it, okay? We are no longer taking public transportation, we taking private transportation. So you got to move differently, right? We all are moving differently. And divine wants us not to focus on anything external around us, but to focus on the internal within us. Because now what's going to happen is you're going to see new olive branches be formed energetically, like a portal on the outside of you, because all of the other portals that were attached to the matrix, so your karmic cycle, to the lessons you needed to learn, people, places, things, those things have detached themselves. You've healed, and now you're on your brand new authentic vessel. So your brand new authentic vessel, just like a newborn baby, you have to treat it in a certain way. You're not gonna, expect a baby to walk right when it comes out the womb. I'm not saying a baby can't. That's a conversation for another day. But nevertheless, there's certain things you have to do to get it and to nurture it to where it's gonna go, and where it's gonna be able, the potential of it, right? So going back to the vessels, we're going to be forming new energetic vessels from us, but this time it's from a healthy place. So all of the voids within us that were wounded and leaking out and needed surgery, we've gone through all of that, right? So since that has healed and we're so confident within ourselves, we've done the work within ourselves, we didn't shortcut it, we didn't shortchange it. Some of us had to repeat lessons over and over again, just new face, new place. And we were able to, differentiate and really pay attention and be like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. And after Philip realizing something looks familiar, then we were able to be like, is it familiar? Let's see. You went on the journey unafraid. You weren't like, no, I can't. We weren't like that, but we allowed ourselves to trust ourselves enough because of where we've come and grown from, where we weren't afraid in these streets to get our feet wet. We weren't afraid to go into new challenges, new things. We it was what it was. My head is itching. I gotta take these braids out. But anyways, so now we have new portals latching onto us, which means there's new access codes, there's new opportunity, new doors are gonna be open, new people and places and things to meet. And we're going to be reintroducing ourselves to ourselves. Now we're about to get to a place where we are going to really see what our inner tree is really made of. Like I said, there was a lot of dormant, stagnant energy. It was a lot of energy that was taken advantage of, a lot of energy that never saw the light of day. So now that our tree is healthy within, now it's trusting, right? Now we trust ourselves. And now because we trust ourselves, we're like, you know, it's like springtime. It's like a snake raising their head out the grass. It's like, you know. So that's where we're at now. So Spirit wants us to be mindful and to reflect and to go into introspection during this time, but not be afraid to socialize. Don't be afraid to trust the journey, okay? No matter how much we continue to elevate, there's always going to be new layers and levels to awakening and ascension once you get out the matrix, no matter what. The matrix is a big part of awakening and ascension, getting out of it. But once you're out of it, now you have to continue to elevate and ascend in your highest power. Now you have to learn how to stay in the 5D and above while still being in the 3D, but you can't handle things in the 3D the way you used to in the matrix. Now everything in the 3D has to be handled in the 5D and above. That's the only way you're going to work and operate, and you can only survive because you've outgrown that paradigm. So it still would be so uncomfortable for you to be in a situation in 3D and handle it like you would in the matrix or when you were unawakened. You wouldn't even, you don't even want to go back there. There's nothing to go back to, right? So now we're realizing the layers and the levels of the mountaintop, okay? So Spirit just wanted me to come on really quickly and just have a quick little mini chat. You know, we usually chop it up for a minute, we be going in, but right now it's just about going into the new year and realizing how important and valuable you are, not only just to yourself, but to the people around you that you're about to come into union with. Some of you guys are already in union with some people. Some of you guys have been on this journey of awakening ascension and you met some of the people from the very beginning of the awakening ascension. Some of you guys met them in the middle. Some of you guys met them towards the end. Whatever applies to you, you'll know. But those people also did the work, right? So that's another beautiful thing, being able to share this journey with those people that were supposed to cross over with you, right? And now you're going to start to see each other rise even more. So that's the beauty in these new relationships, whether it's platonic or romantic. But to me, everything's romantic, right? Everything's romantic. You know, again, the English language got a lot of synonyms for the same shit. Never less. But now you're going to get to see these people elevate and grow as well too, individually. They're going to get to see you elevate and grow individually. And then you guys have your collective journey together where you guys are intertwining and growing. And as that happens on their individual journey and on your individual journey, you have, of course, the cords that are going to be attached to you now, the new codes. And then as you guys collectively do things, there's going to be people and codes that are attached to that as well too. So it's going to be a brand new tree. It's going to be a brand new tree. And you are a seed, they are a seed, they're rooted and planted in the ground. The bark is your temple. And now you have all of this beautiful branches and leaves and fruit bearing off of the tree. Now it's getting to the point where you're growing, truly growing your tree, right? You're going to see on the external in the 3D, all of your hard work that was done in the dark, right? A lot of us was on an awakening ascension process out the matrix where it was really, it was painful. It was not pretty, you know, it can be ugly sometimes. I just saw 919, so some of you guys may need to look up Angel 919. But nevertheless, this journey has taught us and prepared us for where we are going in 2023. So we want to make sure that we are taking this moment, especially the last week or two in December, to really reflect and to enjoy how far we've come and to know that it's only going to get greater from here, but also being prepared and not naive in the sense that just because we were out of the matrix and we went through the awakening ascension process over the last, some people 5 years, some people 3 years, some people 2 years, some people 4 years, some people 10 years. Technically speaking, all of us really within the last 10 years have been going through it, but the intensity of it started to speed up within the last 2 years, 4 years, 3 years, 5 years. Okay. The first five is kind of like, a baby coming out, like I said before, into a new world. And like, what is this? You kind of got to get adjusted to it, but you knew something was going on. You just didn't really know what it was. Okay. So for all of us who are officially awakened and has transformed and done the work, we've gone through the Kundalini awakening. Some of us are doing it now. Like, again, everyone's in different classrooms, but overall the biggest classroom we're all in together, right? It's just like going to college. You see a lot of the same people on campus, but it doesn't mean you have this exact same major, right? But when you're a freshman, every freshman has to take the same core classes, okay? So kind of think of it like that. Think of it like I'm in this big spiritual university with my peers and I have the opportunity to see them do their thing. I've been doing my thing. We've been crossing paths. We've been separated and all of this greatness. And now it's time to move to the next grade level, right? Now we're moving to the next level. And in this new level, before you get there, there's always a break period. It's always a season of rest, just like when you go to college, the end of winter break, before that you have your finals, your exit exams, you have all these things going on, and then finally you can breathe. You get to breathe a little bit, and then you get to what? Reflect on your hard work over the season. You get to look at the things that you want to improve on, or areas where you're like, you know what, I see some things, I see it for what it is, and you're gonna allow yourself to see that, to acknowledge that, to take accountability, but you're not going to go right into working on it right now. This is not the season to go right into working on something that you already worked on. This is a season just to reflect and have introspection and to spend time with yourself, to love on yourself, and to be like, yo, I did this. I made it through. And I deserve a little break. All right. So Spirit is telling me some of y'all right now need to just have some TLC. Some of y'all need to actually go listen to TLC, okay? Go listen to it. I heard don't go chasing waterfalls. So some of y'all need to listen to that because some of y'all still have energetic vibrations attached to you that are trying to digress your process, but you know what it is. And Spirit is saying some of these people, okay, some of us have yearned and longed for something for so long, and the divine allowed us to have a taste of the fruit, right? I had my fruit over there, but it's gone. Allowed us to have a taste of the fruit. So imagine you see the strawberry, it's gone now though, but you able to taste the fruit, but there's still some fruit on here, right? Spirit is saying I had to stop you from eating the full fruit because it was something that you didn't know, something that wasn't for you, right? So some of us are like, why would God tease me like that? Why would the divine, and God and the divine is the same energy, by the way. Sometimes but I usually say the word divine, so I don't want to confuse anyone. When I say divine, they're like, who's she talking about? For y'all know who know, but just in case somebody new hopped on and hasn't checked out the other videos. But the divine has allowed us some type of fruit in our life, right? Because of the work we were doing, because of, our natal chart and everything that's already within the plan, because of our choice. And a lot of us got to taste the fruit and we were like, oh, wow, like it's finally coming in. This is beautiful. Yay. But because you learned so much, you were like, even though this is beautiful, something ain't right. It wasn't just something ain't right. And then the divine snatched it from you. The divine either pulled their energy back, which made you have to pull your energy back, or you were like, let me pull my energy back, which made them stay where they were at. Their energy wasn't being given. A lot of us were taking it in a sense of, damn. But what happened was it opened our heart chakra, right? So in this new season where we're going, our heart chakra has to be open because there's going to be a lot of opportunity and success coming in. And if you aren't in the right place to really fully receive it without wearing a mask with your heart, if you don't know how to completely start over when it comes to love, as if you've never been hurt, whether it's romantic or platonic, whether it's in business, um, whatever, you know, you're not going to be able, I just saw 1441, you're not going to be able to receive these blessings coming in. So Spirit wants us to sit and to realize, not to take it personal. So a lot of us in the month of December, we had the opportunity to really break down what I just said and to really go into deep and to figure out, okay, why did I meet this energy that was like a strawberry that, so it's like the 7 of Cups. It's like, okay, you bit off a little bit, bit off a little bit, bit off a little bit. And then right when you was finna eat the whole thing, the Spirit was like, stop, stop, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And we didn't do it. We listened to our intuition. So kudos to us for listening, right? But in the midst of listening, it still didn't take away from what the 3D experience. So what I'm saying is, in the month of December, the divine had us experience something in the 3D that may have been familiar. It may have felt good. It was pleasurable to whatever degree. But now that it was taken out of our lives, it was meant to show us something within ourselves that we need to pay attention to. So we dissected it really deep. We got really deep. And we had to realize that because of our Ascension Awaken process, the only way to really dissect it is to go into the 5D. So we went into the 5D to get the information, and the 5D brought the truth back down to the 3D. And then therefore the last bit of information given was really more so the 3D, which is like tenet, it's backwards. So the very beginning, you got some 3D information, but the bigger picture is now we see all of it, but we handle it in the 5D. So therefore, if you're handling something in the 5D, the way you would respond, react to something in the 3D, once you got information in the 3D, is not going to be the same. You're going to handle something completely different. So a lot of y'all for the first time made moves and moved differently than you normally would do with someone or something regarding the strawberry. And it put you out your comfort zone, but it also allowed you to see your growth. It allowed you to see that, wait a minute, a lot of y'all had a moment like Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Y'all remember Family Matters and Steve Urkel? You know what I mean? That's what it was. Did I do that? Like, it was like that. But it was more like, I can't believe I just did that. But it didn't take away from some of the feelings you felt. You still had to go through it. We went through it. We didn't suppress it. We didn't act like it didn't happen. We didn't try to go occupy ourselves with other stuff. We were still moving through it and getting our everyday operation done, right? We didn't let nothing stop our game or stop our show, stop our money. But at the same time, we allowed ourselves to really understand the truth of why that came to be. And I call that the exit exam out the matrix. So a lot of us had an exit exam out the matrix, and it was a very beautiful experience for a lot of us. So I want to just congratulate all of us for that. I even had my own personal experience. I was like, okay, the tribe is going through it, but nevertheless, this new journey up ahead requires us to have a very open and honest and authentic and vulnerable heart chakra. Spirit wants us to remember we are not our past. We are not the person we were in the Matrix, that character that was assigned to us to dismantle who we truly are. We've decided to play our authentic character and we've taken back our power. So you don't have to be afraid of anything. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is about detachment. This is about letting go of codependency. This is about all of those things that we had issues with in the Matrix that we actually grew from, but the divine needed to test us to make sure that we grew from it. But what happened was we were in relationships, some of us, with people who actually had those issues that are about to go through the process we've already gone through maybe 2 to 3, 4, or 5 years ago, right? So we were actually a student and a teacher at the same time in the classroom. So Spirit wants us to remind ourselves how beautiful and honor that is to be a student and a teacher in the classroom at the same time, because we're always learning, we're always growing. And no matter who we come in contact with, everyone has something to teach us and something that we can teach them. Whether they're able to receive it at the moment or not, we are only there to do our job. And a lot of us were true to ourselves. We didn't let the past traumas get in the way. Our throat chakra was very open. Our crown was open. Our third eye was open. The solar plex was even getting healed. The sacral was getting healed. The root was strong. We were going through a lot of things. So kudos to us. Kudos to us. Kudos to our journey. And we're going to end it here. So you guys get ready for the new year. The darkest before the dawn before the darkest. Take it how it's applied. Sit on that quote real quickly too. Spirit brought that up. The darkest before the dawn before the darkest. And I'm looking at one of the Island Time Wellness Law of Attraction cards, and my eyes went there because it has stars and it has a crescent moon on it. Let me actually pick this up and see what it says. Breakdown before breakthrough. Wow. Major shift is in progress. Dissolving barriers, ascending. So can y'all see that? Yeah. See how beautiful that is? The 4 elements, which are the stars in your inner tree right there, the moon. But look, the dark can be beautiful. The dawn can be just as beautiful. But before you go to either or, you have to go through a transitional period. And that's what we did. Okay? So just wanted to come on and give that message. I hope everyone has an amazing Thursday. Love and light and darkness to everyone, because you have to learn to balance both. There's no such thing as just all light. There's no such thing as all darkness. It's light and darkness and balance. That's what we teach you over on the channel, to be in balance with both. If you're not in balance with both, you're gonna be missing out, right? You're gonna be too heavily in one energy than the other. So we've learned how to integrate both, how to accept both, how to love both, how to not deny both, and how to allow each of them to have equal give and receive. Not equal give and take, but equal give and receive in both. Because students and teachers, the one thing about it that I've downloaded is it's a form of receiving, because you're learning. So the teacher receives, the student receives, right? No matter how you look at it, we're all receiving, right? Okay. But nevertheless, I'm going to sign off here. You guys have an amazing day. And till next time.